Dr. Silva?
Could I just make one point that I forgot to make before, and this will be real quick? The thing about working together and working as a group, there's a perception out there that we haven't been able to work together, that we haven't been forthcoming, and that it's been adversarial. Well, I, for one, even though I don't agree all the time, and well, I probably don't agree most of the time, I don't think the whole situation has been adversarial, and I think the proof is in the pudding. All right, can someone tell me the last time that budget got amended on town meeting floor in favor of the school department? The answer is never.
It's been tried every year, excuse me, through you.
I beg to differ with you.
Please.
I beg to differ with you. That has never happened.
Not on town meeting floor.
Not on town meeting floor, sir. You are absolutely wrong.
If we may,
So,
go ahead.
so the point is there has been an honest attempt to work together, all right? Because we have gone in to town meeting with a balanced budget. Last year, to the point that we trimmed $270,000 below level funded. So this idea that we haven't been able to get along and we haven't been able to cooperate is just not true. And I wanted to make that point.
In all fairness, I'd like to address that issue before we go any further. Because over the last 2 years, I have been involved. And 2 years ago, we had the ad hoc committee. We came back and we said, okay, we'll use the healthcare trust fund holiday to fund $1.5 million. That did not solve the entire problem. The school committee still had to go back and lay off how many teachers?
I don't remember. I think 20.
Some,
28.
no, not this last year, the year before.
Yeah.
The year before.
The year before.
The year before it was about a half a dozen.
Yeah.
That was your first cut out
Yeah.
of the middle
Yes,
school.
right.
Yes.
All right. So they did have to make a cut, and then there was also some lost federal funding.
That was after the fact.
All right. But there were other jobs that had to be cut. Last year, the way the budget was solved, we went in with a balanced budget, but the reason why we went in with a balanced budget is because the school literally bent over backwards to cooperate with the balanced budget. That's, it was at the recommendation of a member of the Finance Committee, all right, that the school try for the technology on a debt exclusion. It should have been the town that was doing it, but it was like, give it a try, because that's what the other municipalities do. The busing situation is supposed to be a town item. They needed it desperately. They put that in rather than putting it in their budget. What it basically came down to is there was also the question of, well, what do we do about the teachers? And the decision was made, well, we can't balance the budget unless we get more revenue. So let's go for the 2.5. And then there was also the question, I believe it was one of the roughs. Put it all together, looked at the town meeting budget, and guess what? We were short $275,000. I went to Mr. Sweat and said, we can't go with an unbalanced budget. The Finance Committee and the town needs you to cut $275,000 from your budget. His first reaction is, you're nuts. His second reaction was, if that's what the town needs, we'll do it. What am I supposed to say from my... I was chairman of the Finance Committee. That's why I asked him to do it. And now here we are. We knew then that that was going to decimate the school system. We're sitting here now $1 million short on what we presented tonight. However, I know that they have also made additional cuts this year to get to that $1 million number. I'll give you the equivalent on the town side of what they did. If we look at the top priorities of the town, we're looking at education's top priority, the police department's top. Okay, here's what you would have to do in the police department to do what they did on their side. You'd have to lay off the lieutenants.
It's cost savings. I'm sorry. It's cost savings. That's the reason why the lights go out, because
Go
they
out.
come back on. And
But you would have
we
to-
were done with this meeting.
All right,
It's
you-
cost savings.
You would have to lay off, all right, the lieutenants, and everything would go directly down to the sergeants. All special details, all special, not specialties, but special functions where officers are grouped together, have somebody who specializes in the area, et cetera. It exists. We pay stipends for some of it, et cetera. All those would have to be eliminated. All training expenses would have to be eliminated. All payroll for training would have to be eliminated. All technology would be frozen. unless it went to town meeting. Of course, it already is frozen because we're not getting them anything. But then also, we'd have to say, well, what about the administration? All their administrative people would have to come over to the town side. Okay. By now, everybody would figure I'm pretty much an idiot, but that's exactly what you would have to do to be equivalent. They've made the sacrifices in the previous years. I think this year, their insistence that we need to do something on the school side is a cry of desperation after 2 years of already making every effort to try to cooperate with us. They just haven't received the acknowledgement. Mrs. Whiteside.